Hello and welcome back to my garden. Today we're going to do a lot of planting because I need to do a lot of planting. The season is heating up quickly. The greenhouse is going to get too warm to have anything in it in the next 2 weeks maybe. Clock is ticking here and I still have a lot to plant out both on the bench and in the greenhouse. So today I thought we'd tackle quite a bit of planting, and I'm going to be planting both here in the vegetable garden and out in the flower garden. What I'm going to start planting today is a recommendation from my great niece. So yesterday I went over to my nieces and nephew's house, had Easter, had a lovely day. I hope all of you had a lovely day yesterday, whether you celebrate Easter or not. And I asked, what should I be planting today? Should I be planting vegetables or should I be planting flowers? And her answer was both. So thank you to my great niece for that wonderful answer. So first we're going to start here. I mentioned in my prior video, I think, that I had radishes here. Radishes are gone. Right here I have, I believe, 2 different types of garlic, one of them being Deerfield Purple, I believe, not mistaken. And I'm too lazy to go over and read the tag. Right here, this is all empty. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of companion plants you can put with garlic, at least not that I can grow here in eastern North Carolina, growing zone 8B at this time of year because it's getting a little too warm. One of the things I can plant with garlic is marigolds, and I'm going to plant up Signet Marigold Lemon Gem. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this whole half a bed. Some of you may be going, oh, you're wasting a half a bed on flowers, but Lemon Gem Marigold is awesome. If you haven't grown it, grow it. It is just, and the reason it's awesome is because it's a relatively smallish plant, puts out these lovely little yellow flowers. If I remember, I'll try to put a picture somewhere up here on the screen. But the biggest reward out of the marigold is when you brush against it, you get this incredible smell of lemon. It's just wonderful. It can tolerate the heat, it can tolerate the sun, and you get that lemony smell. So I thought just as I was watering things this morning, wouldn't it be awesome just to have this, instead of having a little clump here or there, just have just half a bed filled with lemon gem. I think that would be awesome. So that's what we're gonna do. It's my garden, I'll do what I want. Half hardy annual, comes up in 4 to 14 days. Planting depth, chest cover. So what we'll do is we'll do some thin rows here. Very thin rows. I'm not going very deep. How far apart? 6 inches or so. There we go. I think that'll good. I don't want to plant too close to the garlic because midsummer I'll have to harvest the garlic, and at which point I can then plant something in this half of the bed. But I'd like the marigolds to stay here from now until fall, which they pretty much should do. And I'm just sprinkling the seeds here in the little troughs that I made. How do you plant your marigolds? Do you just sprinkle them on the ground? Do you guys pre-sow them in trays and then plant them out? I've done that too. So I'm gonna cover these back up here. I have some extras. I'll leave them in the packet here, and at some later point, if there's gaps or something, I'll then plant these out because there's no guarantee that all these will germinate correctly. I'll just give these water. And hopefully in 4 to 14 days, all these sprout, or most of them sprout. The goal, we'll try, is to have this whole half of the bed covered with no gaps with lemon gem marigold. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Let's go plant the next thing here in the vegetable garden. Before I forget, from now until April 30th, Epic Gardening is having a variety of sales on various things. I think one of the sales is on some of their birdies beds, or maybe one type of birdie bed. They have seed starting supplies for sale, and they've got a couple other things. And you can go over there now, take advantage of their sales. And if you want to save yourself an extra 5%, you could use the code GROWING at checkout. You can save yourself a few bucks. My peas here, they were doing okay. They're growing just a bit slowly. And this one started flopping over. We're gonna see if we can tease him back that way. Get him to go up the trellis as opposed to flopping forward. I've been sort of lucky in the sense that the wind has been blowing it from the south, which blows the peas into the trellis here. Now they are growing, but it's a tad slow, and I am a little bit worried that once they start putting on flowers, it's just gonna be too hot, and I don't know how the pea is gonna handle that. Peas don't like really hot weather, and we're already getting into the low 80s around here. We're supposed to cool off a bit, I think, later this week or next week, but I'm always worried about the peas. And I did plant these fairly early. They've just been kind of slow to grow on me. Either way, right here in the middle, I have nothing growing. Nada. On the ends, I have chamomile. If you watched my last video, I mentioned that. And along the front edge, I planted a special surprise, which hopefully I'll be talking about more in the near future if they do germinate. But in the meantime, I'm going to plant up some beans here. And the variety I have here are my favorite, Blue Lake 47. And this is a bush bean. I'm just going to pop these in the ground. We'll get to about yay tall. And I've never staked them or done any sort of support on them. But I always find that it's sort of I feel like that's a sort of a mistake because then they wind up flopping over. They get sort of top heavy with the beans on them. So I'm thinking if and when these germinate, what I'll do is maybe just make 2 rails, one on either side, using maybe some bamboo stakes or something. But just a little rail, maybe yay high, just a stick going across. And this way when they go to flop, they'll just lean against the stick one way or the other. I think that might be, as opposed to doing individual poles for each of the plants. I don't know. But either way, if you guys grow bush beans, let me know. Do you have a particular variety that you guys like? Blue Lake 47s are my favorites. They like never make it into the house for me. I am planting these about 6 to 8 inches apart, which is fine, but my mistake is that I don't know how well these beans are going to germinate. I think they're a year or 2 old. So what I should be doing is planting them maybe a little bit closer. So that's what we'll do. So they'll be like 3 inches apart. And if all of them germinate, all the seeds that I'm putting in today, I'll just thin out the ones that I don't want and space them appropriately. Now this is not all of the Blue Lake 47 beans I will be planting. I will be planting another bed of these someplace, a full bed. I haven't decided where. Yeah, I'm not sure where yet. I will be planting more of these. And I learned last year that they won't flower when it's super duper duper hot out. But the plants will stay alive. So at the height of the summer, let's say August, no flowers, no beans, but the plants will still be fine. And as soon as the temperature starts breaking, then suddenly the plants start flowering again and I get a new flush of beans, which is really fun. And this bed is now basically full until I remove the beans. And then I'll have to think of what else to plant over here. This is one of my flower beds in front of the house, and we were here a couple of weeks ago and we planted up some snapdragons over here. Off camera there's some gomphrena over there. Behind me over here there's some tobacco. Right here, oh, let me move that. There are some balsams. There's a little clump of them growing. And there's some sweet williams along the front, which are still hanging in there. There's sea holly. There's a fully grown snapdragon from last year. I'm not sure if that's in shot, but that's over there. But I thought to try to finish filling out this bed and try not to leave too many, if any, blank spots in this bed, I'm going to plant up some of those dahlias that I grew from seed. Now, these dahlias that I grew from seed, these are watercolor mixed dahlias. And I thought, why not plant them behind the snapdragons in front of this shrub? They get to allegedly approximately 3 feet high. Again, trying to do a little overplanting. I'm trying to get as many types of plants together in larger groups or clumps than I have in the past. Previously, if I was planting something, I would just plant like a singular or like a group of 3. But then I started realizing that I've got these massive flower beds and I really need to be planting much more. So I think today there's something like 6 or 7 over here. So I'm gonna start popping these in the ground. There we go. This is a dahlia from last year. The tuber is half rotted. Oh wait, there's a bigger tuber right here. And that tuber looks good. So I have a dahlia tuber already here, which is fantastic. So we're gonna leave that alone. It looks in pretty good condition. So I think I'm gonna put the next one maybe where I'm sitting. So that tuber that was right here just hasn't emerged yet, and it may not because the soil itself may be a little too cool for it yet. Still. And I can't remember what variety it was. It may be a Bishop's Children or a Redskin, one of those two. But that's okay because, again, I'm doing like a cottage garden style with this bed. So it's going to be sort of a mishmash of various plants. All right, so we got one there. We have a set of tubers that hasn't come up yet. One here. I think I'm going to do one up here next to the balsam. I don't always, but I try to keep a plant tag in or around the plant that I'm planting. I want to know where I had planted something and that died. Also, if you have a plant like dahlias, which down here in growing zone 8B, I can leave them in the ground. They will go dormant over the winter. It's good to know. So I may have had a tag there. Maybe I thought it died completely or rotted away, and I took the tag away. And then I only found it as I dug into the ground there. Luckily, I didn't damage the tubers because I was digging sort of next to it. And then if I'm planting a perennial or a plant that I know is going to come back year after year, then what I'll do is I'll put a more permanent metal tag in place. All right, so I've got one. We know there's one there, 2, 3, 4. I have one more here. So let me get up and see if I can find a spot for it. So I will put this dahlia right here. Alrighty. So there's 5 watercolor dahlias. I'm pretty happy with that. It turns out I did leave a tag here. I just didn't see it because I'm blind and old. Bishop's Children right here. So that will have a red stem and the foliage will be a little redder. That's fine. If it really does bother me, I can always dig it up in the fall after it flowers and once it's done for the year, and I could always transplant that someplace else. The tuber itself may be large enough at that point I could also divide it in the fall if I want to. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, and I'll have these nice tall dahlias and then these shorter tetra mix snapdragons. Let's go over to the other side. I'm not sure if it's in shot, but I have some poppies up there. I have some poppies in the foreground. I have echinacea coming up. Think there's some echinacea here amongst the weeds. No idea what variety it is, but that's okay. Right here in front of me, I have agapanthus. I believe these are the Ever Twilight agapanthus. Not sure. So we'll get yay high with the flower heads. These are daylilies, but I've got sort of a little bit of a blank spot right in here. And again, I'm trying to fill out these beds this year. It's really, I'm making a concerted effort, as it were. But right here, I have 3 more watercolor dahlias. So I should add some nice height. Oh, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but back here I have a Carolina lupine, which I haven't killed yet. So I'm pretty excited about that. That should get to about 6 foot tall. Allegedly, maybe. Not this year. We'll see. In the meantime, I'm going to put 3 watercolor dahlias right back here. Again, they should get to a roughly about 3 foot high. The soil here looks really good. I've been amending this for the last few years, which I'm pretty happy about. I had something growing here, I think, last year, but whatever it was either an annual or as a perennial that I killed. Now I am going to plant these a little close together, but that's okay, because again, I'm trying to remove any and all gaps of flowers. Gaps of flowers? I don't want to see mulch. So the denser I put the plants, theoretically, the less weeds I'll have and the less mulch I'll see. I don't want to see any mulch. Put some more compost down around this plant. Push that in. And there we go. Hopefully I'll have a nice display of the watercolor dahlias right next to the agapanthus. I'm really looking forward to hopefully doing a fun, very full garden tour this summer with all my flowering plants. In the meantime, let's head over to the flower garden. This is the oldest corner of the flower garden. Back here, there's some canna, which I'm gonna have to lift and get rid of this year. I do love the canna, but they are a tad bit aggressive. And they're already starting to bully out a pineapple lily, which I have back there, and I have a summer drummer allium back there, which it'll be fine. I got a couple of echinaceas around here, and I think this is an echinacea, not an echinacea, I'm sorry, allium. Woo, the heat is cooking my brain. So I have an allium here, and I have an allium here. Don't know what variety because I just took the seed heads and I sprinkled them around, but hopefully they are actual alliums and not just wild garlic or something. Right over here, I have more pineapple lily in front. I think you guys can see it. I have Alaska Shasta daisy, but there's really nothing right here in the middle, nor over here. So what I think I'm going to do is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, 6. I can count 6 watercolor daisies. Oh my God, 6 watercolor dahlias. Wow, my speaking is bad. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant up all 6 of these watercolors right back in here, and I think it'll add some nice height and color to the space. At least that's what I'm going with. That's my theory. And one more right here. hopefully all of these grow and thrive. And again, hopefully we have a spectacular display for you guys in the summertime. But in the meantime, there's one more grouping to do. Well, I saved you guys from another musical montage of me planting up all of these dahlias because I forgot to hit the replay button. But right in here where there used to be canna, if you guys have watched the channel for a while, if you remember, or if you don't, you can go back and watch those. I dug up all my canna from this area last year because they were starting to crowd out my gladiolus, so I took care of them. So then I had this big blank spot, so what I've done is I've just planted them up with mixed dahlia seeds. So some of these could be pom-poms, some of these could be cactus, some of these may be open face. It could be a variety of different dahlias. I don't know until they start flowering, but that's okay. I'm all right with that as long as they're all dahlias in here. This is one of those clump plantings that I've been wanting to do this year. So what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 dahlias in here, which is nice. There's a couple over here on the other side of these gladiolus, so that's 12. So this is all looking filled. Back over here I have Garden View Scarlet Bee Balm, and that is growing lovely right now. So hopefully, cross our fingers and toes, with good weather, we wind up having an incredible display of flowers in here between the gladiolus, the dahlias, the bee balm, and it's just a spectacular show. So off camera, I saw a canna leaf pushing up. I pulled on the leaf, it broke off the rhizome underneath, and I wanted to get that rhizome out, so I stuck my hand into the ground without wearing gloves. And I stuck my hand apparently into an ant nest, a fire ant nest. So, ouch. It's just, yeah, I've probably got at least a half a dozen bites now in my hand. That really hurts. So, yeah, that's an unfortunate way for me to end gardening today. I violated my own rule. Always wear gloves when I'm gardening down here. So as you saw in the beginning of the video, we planted up the half bed of lemon gem marigolds over in the vegetable garden. I planted up some Blue Lake 47 beans in the vegetable garden as well. And then I planted out, what, a lot of dahlias today, all grown from seed. And really, I'm really hoping that these guys survive and that they do thrive. And then we get just, especially in this area right here where I have the bee balm and the gladiolus and the dahlias now, we just get an incredible show and an incredible display here in the summertime. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video. And this way you can follow along to see if any of what I've done today actually survives and thrives. Thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. There's a bunch of you who have subscribed recently. Thank you very much. Check out all the links below. And I think it's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Ow, my hand. This is gonna hurt.